Okay, welcome. It is Friday, September 4th, end of week 6. And today we're taking a look at the other two ways that you can write the equation of a line, which is called point gradient form or point slope form. And then the other form of a line is just called the general form. All right. So we talked about this yesterday. There was 3 different ways that you could write the equation for a line. That's what the acronym WAFL stands for. Write an equation for a line. All right. So we could write it, depending on what ingredients we have, we can write it in point gradient or point slope. That's what we're talking about today. Slope intercept or gradient intercept. That's what we did yesterday. And then general form. And this general form I'm going to revise here. And I'm going to write it like this so it matches your IB material. Plus C equals 0. So I'm going to change that. And in what makes this a little different is A, B, and C are integers. So those are positive, negative numbers, but they're whole numbers like -5 or 7. No decimals or fractions. Okay. So point gradient form is probably the most useful out of all the different formats that we have. Okay. So if you're given a point that is not the x-intercept, okay, and you know it's not the x-intercept, because the x-intercept will always start with a 0. It'll be something 0 blank. That's the x-intercept. So when you have a point that's not the x-intercept and you have the slope, you can plug it into this form and have your form or your equation for a line. Alrighty. So we'll start with some simple examples here. Okay, it says the point gradient form of the equation of a straight line. The line passes through 2, 5 and has a gradient of 2. What's the equation of the line? All right, so I know a point that's not the x-intercept or the y-intercept, and I know the slope. So I just take my point gradient form and I drop in those numbers. So this would be y minus, well, y1, the y coordinate of that point, 5. My slope, 2. And then x minus the x coordinate of the point that I was given, x1, which is 2. And that is your solution in point gradient form. Okay. Now you could take this and you could convert it into slope intercept or gradient intercept. So all I would do on that is I would just distribute the 2 inside the parentheses. Move the 5 over, and now it's in gradient slope. Excuse me, I'm getting my words mixed up. Slope intercept form or gradient intercept. I still call it slope intercept, just IB calls it gradient. So I kind of use them interchangeably. But here it is in. So I know this line has a slope of 2 and it has a y-intercept of 0, 1. Now, if I wanted to take this and write it in general form, I just get everything on one side. So I'm going to do the same thing, distribute. move everything over. Okay, so I can either move these two to the right or these two to the left. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to move everything to the left, or to the right, I'm sorry. So minus y, so I get negative 5. Okay, add 5. And I get 0 equals 2x minus y plus 1, and there it is in general form. In this case, the a, the b, and the c value, the a value is 2, yes, that's an integer. The b value, which is on the y, that's negative 1, yep, that's an integer. And c is equal to, those are all integers. Alrighty. The point gradient form, now this time all that was different was you're given 2 points. So you're just starting with different ingredients. The last one you had the point and the slope. Now you got 2 points. So here's our gradient intercept form, or I'm sorry, point gradient form, okay, or point slope form. And now I'm just going to plug in these values. So what I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to do this first, because that's the slope. I don't know the slope, so I'll just do that over here. 6, take away 2, divided by negative 1, take away 1. So that's 4 over negative 2. So this is negative 2. So this part here is negative 2. So my slope is negative 2, and then for x1, y1, I can pick either one of these 2 points. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. So I'm gonna use the one with positives. Okay, so I know that my slope is negative 2, and I'm gonna use the point 1, 2, and I'm gonna drop them in here. So this whole slope business is negative 2. X minus x1 is 1. And then over here, y minus y1, which is 2. Okay, let's clean this up. So this is y minus 2 equals negative 2 x minus 1 times the quantity x minus 1. Okay. Now if I wanted to convert that into slope intercept, I'm going to distribute. I'm going to add 2. And in slope intercept form, that would be negative 2x plus 4. So these are the same thing. Okay, or if I wanted it in general form, just move everything to the same side. So I could subtract y and get 0 is negative 2x minus 1y plus 4. So these are all the same line, just written in different formats. Okay, so if your question has a fraction in it and you're converting it to general form, you just got to get rid of the fraction. All right, so here's our general form. We've already talked about that, where a, b, and c are integers. Now, the word integers sometimes is, there's a fancy looking z, and that stands for the word integers, if you ever see that. All right, if you have gradient intercept form, slope intercept, or point gradient form, we can rearrange either one to get it in general form. That's what we've been doing. But I just put some in here with fractions. All right, so I'm going to change this into the general form. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the fraction by multiplying every term by 6. All right, so everything gets multiplied by 6, 6, 6. Okay, so now I've got 6y equals x minus 18. Subtract 6y, and I would get 0 equals x minus 6y minus 18. All right, the a value is 1, the b value is -6, and the c value is -18. Okay. All right, my next one is I've got it in point gradient form, and I want it in general form. Okay, same deal. I'm going to multiply everything in this one by 2. And that's going to get rid of that denominator. All right, so let's see. Now you can either multiply it by 2 now, or you can distribute and then multiply it by 2. Wouldn't matter. Okay, so I'll do that. So this would be -1/2 x plus 3/2. And now I'm going to multiply every term by 2. So that gets multiplied by 2, 2, 2. Okay, so I have 2y minus 12 equals -1x, so just -x, plus 3. Now get everything on the same side. So I can either move these two to the left or these two to the right. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's do it. Let's move this to the right. Okay, so what do we get? X plus 2y minus 12 equals 3. X plus 2y minus 15 equals 0. And there it is in general form. Okay, if I have something in general form, well, how would I graph it? Well, I would take this and change it into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to solve for y. Okay, so I'm going to move the 3x over and the 8, and then divide everything by 4. Okay, so my slope is -3/4. That would be 3 down, 4 right, and my y-intercept is 0, 2. So 0, 2, and get another point by going 1, count the spaces, 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and sketch your line. There it is. All right, now we're given a point and we're given the slope. What's the equation in general form? So since we're given point and gradient, we're going to use the point gradient form, plug in what we're given, and then convert that to general form, and lickety split, we're done. All right, so y1 is 2, m is 3/4, x minus x1, which is 1. Okay, I'm going to get rid of, I want to get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply everything by 4. Alrighty, 4y minus 8 equals 3x minus 3. Now get everything on one side. So I got 3x. I'm going to subtract 4y from both sides. And I'm going to add 8 to both sides. 3x minus 4y plus 5. And there's my answer in general form. All right, that's all, folks. So, and again, all this stuff on linear equations, we went through it pretty quick because it's material you've seen before. It's your Algebra 1, but it's always good to kind of refresh things because you forget them if you're not using them. So, this is going to be due, oh, it looks like I put it on Tuesday? Huh. Okay, let's do Tuesday. I thought I made it earlier, but never mind. Tuesday, have a nice long weekend, and I will see you guys then. So take care. Happy Labor Day. Do something nice for your folks this weekend. Bye-bye.